to go. Spread the word, it's the Sealey. What? It's the Sealey show.
It's the Sealey show. It's the Sealey show. We're better if you need to know. Spread the word, it's the Sealey. What? It's the Sealey show.
Welcome back to the Sealey show. Today we're in Manchester, Denton to be exact, to meet singer-songwriter and presenter Victoria Jane. Let's go. Yo sis, what's happening? You okay?
Good to be here. Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
It feels like really weird to be back in Denton. I do come here sometimes, but I don't
Nostalgic.
Well, I come here to see my mum because she still lives in Denton, but
Okay.
I don't come round here because this is like where I went to primary school.
We're going to see your
High
school in a
school.
minute actually, yeah?
I know, yeah, so it's going to be kind of weird, but yeah, I only kind of moved to Manchester in like end of year 5, year 6. You know when everyone goes on the end of primary school trip.
Yeah.
So I missed that because I moved to
You had
Manchester
to get
from
moving.
London.
Did you find it
Yeah.
a culture shock when you moved?
Kind of. I don't know, because it's weird because in your early childhood you remember things but you don't remember a lot. So like
Yeah.
pre-year 5, I don't remember like a whole lot. I think I remember my memories in Manchester a lot more than my memories in London.
Yeah. Did you notice the accent and stuff or not really?
At first I didn't. It was only until like high school where I started to kind of pick it up myself.
Yeah.
Because I would say like my accent now is quite Manc.
Yeah.
But a lot
I would
of
say-
people from Manchester would
You don't
say
think it
it's
is?
still a bit like not posh, but it's still a bit like
Southern.
southern.
I hear
Yeah, so it's a bit of both really. But yeah, I grew up in London, in Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
So I still kind of feel a bit. I feel like I'm a Mancunian now, but I still kind of feel a bit of a connection to the south still.
Well, you still got like see a lot of work back down south as well, innit? So
Yeah, here and there.
Here and there. So when you go back, do you still feel that connection, or is it just more like you're just traveling into like an unknown foreign area?
I don't know, a bit of both, you know, because I feel like I always feel connected to London because that's where I was born, and that's where I was kind of raised in my early childhood. But now I feel a bit of an outsider.
Yeah.
When I'm going down, it's really strange. It's weird.
No, I hear you.
But now we're back here, which is
That's
so
it.
weird.
But Russell Scott
Yeah.
Primary School. It's where it all began for you.
Yeah. So me, my brother, and my sister all went to this school.
Okay.
And it's kind of strange because this is where like my memories of Manchester started.
Amazing. Well, that's what we're here for.
So this is really weird because this is my primary school. Well, where I started when I came, but I was only here for year 6, really.
Just the 1 year.
Yeah, because I moved
obviously
in year 6.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then my brother and sister went to this school as well, and they're younger than me, so
Right.
they probably have more memories of this school. But still, this is like my first real memories of Manchester, because this is like my first kind of experience being
Did you
with-
still have to like pick them up from school when you got into year 7?
Yeah. So
so
I
you're still here.
literally didn't move out to town until like even in uni I was still living at home. So I was
Okay.
in Denton for quite a while. Like,
Okay.
Probably up until like 3 years ago now. So
That's
really
fair
and truly, I've always been in Denton. I've always had to go travel to see my friends like in town or in Salford or going to see my friends. No one ever came here. no one ever
So
went
just so
to
that I was gonna say, just so the viewers know, like, where is Denton in terms of like Manchester?
It's like, it's because some people say, it's far, but it's only like half an hour on the bus, 20-minute
outside
car
town?
drive from town.
Okay.
It's not just outside because people always say it's so long to get here, but it's like near Ashton, Gorton. It's in Tameside,
Okay.
so it's not that far, but it is a little bit far, like to come to if you don't know where it is.
But you're like in town now.
So
Central.
I'm in town now,
Yeah.
yeah, thank
Okay.
God. Thank God.
So what was school like? Like, what was your favourite subjects? What kind of student was you? Or pupil, should I say?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was always in primary school. I was always like not a goody two shoes, but I was always very like put my head down and get things done,
Yeah.
and just concentrated on my academics in primary school, and to be fair, in high school as well. My high school's literally just around the corner as well from here.
He wasn't a no badness.
No, do you know what? I was like in the middle, so I was like in between the populars and the the geeks or whatever.
Okay.
I was like in the middle.
In the middle.
Yeah, it was. I was always just like friends with everyone, really. But I was always like concentrated on getting my work done and getting my head down, because I like my dad and my mum always just told me like, this is school, you need to like concentrate.
100%.
Yeah.
No, good stuff, man.
But
Well,
yeah,
at least you weren't on badness.
no, I wasn't the bad kid. I just knew like school is school, and if you want to succeed, you need to concentrate. Well, that's what I thought anyway.
I should have been more like you. Did you pick up like much musical skills in there, or?
I didn't do any music in school at all. Like I literally, the only music thing I probably did was like flute in like primary school.
Yeah.
I think one time. I didn't do any music-based things in school. I didn't even do music for GCSEs in high school. Like I didn't do any music-based things. I think that's mainly because I just thought to myself like I can't do that in school. It's not going to get me anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if it's my dad or my parents that kind of made me think, don't do the academic music, creative stuff. If you want to do creative stuff, do it in your own time. Like, don't do it for academics. I think that's where that thought came from, not to do that. But yeah, I didn't do any music thing. The only thing I can think of that I did music-wise in school was in London, because I was always part of the choir in London, and the choir and that music experience that I had in early primary school will always stay with me, because I used to go through that. I performed at the Albert Hall. I went to see theatre shows like Wicked, The Lion King, Joseph. Like I had so many great experiences through being part of the choir in primary school. So I think that's also made me like, that was also built some of my early like foundations of loving music. Yeah. Being part of that. Sick. But since then, like in school, in late primary school when I moved here, and high school, didn't do nothing music based. So it's kind of weird, really, because everyone would have thought I would have done like music GCSE or music A level or something, but I didn't do anything like that. Yeah! Yes, go! Go on, lad! Go on!
Yes, guys, had to pause it. You know the drill. Subscribe. The Sealey Network. You know what time it is. Again, it don't cost you anything. Just press subscribe. Press the bell if you have to. Let you know when we're uploading again. Hope you enjoy it.
It's the Sealey Show. It's the Sealey Show. We're there if you need to know. Spread the word. It's the Sealey what? It's the Sealey Show.
We switched up the scenery.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about where I'm at the moment. So it's my boy Benny's spot. It's called Soul and Surf. Serving up African cuisine. Chip in if you feel like I'm derailing, but the food's mad here. I've been here a few times now. Great food, great spot, great energy. Like I say, Benny's my guy, so when you're in Manchester, the Ancoats area, come down, have a look. Look at the arts, man. Look at the effort he's gone through this place, man. But yeah, no, proper stuff. So he's let us come in here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
There you go.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. I wasn't expecting that taste.
Ooh, what is that?
You got any
I got Henny.
What? Yeah, that's.
I think that one's Henny. This one tastes like the Serrano.
That's Serrano, that is. That's his.
I've already sipped it. Wanna swap?
Yeah.
You got COVID?
No, I'm cool.
No problem.
That's
nice though.
Happen, you know.
That's Serrano and pineapple sick.
Yeah, this Serrano is my go-to drink. It's just so smooth. It tastes like juice, but that's why it's a bit lethal.
Do you want to tell the people something? They can't see you, bro. This is Benny, but
Just come in the.
you sure? You don't want to tell them something about the spot?
When right now?
Yeah, just whatever, bro.
So what? I was gonna say, just walk in, do my thing, or what?
Just come into the
You can
camera.
come into the shot if you want. You can speak
That will see you anyways.
from there.
360.
When I edit it, I can pan it around the whole shot. What was it?
360.
It's only got one lens.
Yeah.
It's a 360 lens.
That's mad.
You can see
Yeah,
it.
that's mad.
So you can see me right here? Yeah, even there. Even you can see me, yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, sick. What was it?
Promote the thing, bro.
Right, yo, you guys are here, so let's say we're close today as well, you know, so there's no food in that, so my bad. The
No
next
worries.
time you guys pull through, I'll hook you with a nice dish. You've got your lobster, your salmon, your fried chicken, you've got your waffles, jollof rice, fried rice, dodo gizzard, the best of West African food, bro. You got it right here, bro.
Heard that from the guy himself.
It's nice as well.
It is very
It
nice.
is very nice.
It's very nice. So, Vic, we spoke about obviously upbringing. We
Yeah.
spoke about school life. I just found out your dad's African as well.
Yeah.
West African. That's
Yeah.
mad. I want to kind of just hit like the struggles really before we get into like the juicy good stuff about your career and business and how your profile's just going through the roof. Want to know about the show. The reason why I came out of it is because I felt like online everything was very what's the word? I don't want to say materialistic, but it wasn't really going underneath the surface or as deep as I would like certain shows to go, or if I was to create content to go. Meaning it's very like above the surface, like very PC answers, very PR, it's very like, you know.
What is?
No. When I've watched
Oh.
content online,
Okay,
interviews, so
in
to speak.
general.
Yeah. So I really wanted like my show to focus like on the actual person and the
Yeah.
drive and
Yeah.
the real stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So when I say like the struggles you've been through on your journey, what kind of situations can you maybe speak on that you felt, oof, this might set me back, or you know what, I'm just gonna just pack this in and just.
That is a hard question. I feel like as a creative in general, it's very hard, and you're always gonna have setbacks or things that kind of make you struggle in your creative field. Personally, I feel like the biggest issue for me, like on this journey so far, has been just trying to balance life and family, and then pursuing the creative career path, but also having the money to do so. And I feel like the financial side of things can really set you back, especially if you over the years I've had to say no to like so many like outings with friends or like holidays or activities and stuff, just because people don't realise how much money goes into music and my artist side of things, but then also presenting, travelling to London and so forth for jobs and stuff, and then not really making any money. And then you're doing all this stuff and you're still like in the same position.
Yeah.
So I think that is very mentally like draining. That's why I feel like if you really want to pursue like a creative field, you have to be like really tenacious and really driven, and just kind of, have that faith really.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger as well, not really a struggle, but kind of one of the things that made me doubt myself a lot was that I never really saw anyone like me in the positions that I wanted. Like artists in the UK when I was growing up, they weren't really from up north, or they weren't really, they didn't really like kind of come from where I came from or represent what I represent. In the same way as presenters didn't. It was, there was, I think Yasmin Evans was the first, like, Yasmin Evans and Clara Amfo were the first two women like of colour. Yasmin was the first one I saw from up north. But apart from them, when I was younger, I didn't really see any others that I could kind of look up to. So that was also like a self-doubt thing, like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Because I know my dad always wanted me to be a lawyer. So those sort of things made me think, oh, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. And then I feel like every creative will have that time where they'll question, like, oh, maybe I should have just done this or done that. But
the norm.
Yeah, but you know, because then you'll see, because I have a lot of friends who are in those normal jobs, not to say that they're not easy, not say they're easy, but because they are quite hard sometimes. So when a lot of my friends and my peers are in these normal jobs, or you know, your corporate jobs, and are earning a lot, and kind of life is very like on track, or you know, it can be a bit like disheartening, like, oh, I am trying to do the most and it's not an easy ride as theirs might be, but also I think being a creative, people often look at you like you're not really doing anything as well. Like you have to explain. A lot of people, a lot of artists I know, presenters, creatives, have to explain a lot what they're doing, and people just think that you just basically sat at home, but there's a lot going on. 100%. So I mean, here and there's been a lot of struggles. It's a mental thing as well, I think, more often than not. And
how, just to touch on, obviously, like you say, the mental side there, how have you been able to overcome those moments, like mentally? I think
I would say family, but I feel like, to be fair, if I did not have a relationship with God, like if I did not have faith, especially being brought up in the church, like if I didn't have that, I know for a fact I would not be where I am right now, 100%, because like there's been so many like tough times, and I think faith is the only thing that's kept me like at bay, and just kept me like, you know, and it's hard because when I was, glad you said that. When I was younger, I literally, I think it's only as I've got older that I've kind of built that relationship with God. Because when I was younger, I grew up in the church and I was always just like in it, but I never really like was in it. Like I just was there, going to church every Sunday, friends, was in the church, but I never really knew what it meant to know God. I still don't now, but I know that. I've had experiences where I just can't deny like God's presence, and where I'm at, I don't think I could have got to if I didn't have faith, really.
No, faith is a big thing, and it's I guess, I mean, I have a lot of faith as well, so I can kind of relate, as when you try and explain that to someone who maybe wasn't brought up in a church or doesn't have a religious background, they probably think you're crazy. Yeah, I mean, you can only like, it's hard to explain. That's why. Like, you'll only know if you've experienced these sort of encounters, or to make you realise, or you know. Is there a moment you can recall, like? There's been so many moments where it's just like this is why I just always go back to everything happens for a reason, because every single time I've been stressed or been stuck in a situation, or just, you know, like thought, what is going to happen, it literally been fine, like every single time. And most of us have the same instances, like when we look back, it's been fine in the end. Or there's been instances where you just like I always go back to nature. There's been instances where I've been like around like nature in the countryside, or in like very, very picturesque places, and I just really felt like God's presence. It's mad. But one of the times I'll go back to is when like I was having like a really, really down time, and then I just went like for a walk in a park, and it was just very, very quiet, and I was just like doing like a prayer walk, and I literally just finished it and I sat down, and then just the wind was like crazy, like out of nowhere, and I just literally felt like this overwhelming, like, right, this is the mad. So just there's things like that, but I think faith is definitely, and it kind of almost reassures you as well when things like that happen, doesn't it? It reassures me. It's just that ability to be able to kind of trust that everything's going to be fine as well.
yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Hard to explain.
No. I mean, that goes into obviously your passion, which was my next question actually. Like with music.
Yeah.
I know we've touched on it, but like, where did it come from? Where did it start? Your influences, etc. Like as early as you can remember.
I mean,
because I'm a music kid, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
you know about
it's
me
so
already.
mad because like obviously I touched on it before. How like obviously was in the choir in primary school, but I've always just loved music. Whether it's my dad playing music, my mum playing.
What did he play?
Like your Seal.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he'll ever stop playing that Seal album. My mum played like a lot of Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
I used to listen to a lot of Erykah Badu. But to be fair, I listened to a lot like of different genres of music. Like growing up, I could listen to anything from London Grammar to Nickelback.
Wow.
Yeah. To like your Rizzle kicks.
We've all had our Nickelback moment.
I mean, everyone's been there. But there's one song from them that I'll still listen to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a very eclectic music taste, which is why I think I've always been such a music lover, and I'm just a big I'm just a big music lover. Like I think I grew up listening to a lot of different genres of music, and I think because I grew up in the church, but then my friends were in the church but weren't. And then obviously moving from London to Manchester, I've just been influenced by a lot of different things, a lot of different people. And then I also think growing up, there was a lot of change in music because it was very like poppy kind of sounds when I was living in London. And then when I moved up, I realised like the Manchester music scene was very like grime orientated, grime heavy, rap, and kind of hardly if any R&B soul that I knew at the time anyway. So yeah, it's just been there's a lot of influences, really.
And then like, do you think that spilled into presenting on the radio?
Yeah, it must be. It must have, because that's why I'm just such a music lover, and I just love listening to and discovering new music, and I love talking about music and being able to put people onto new music. It's just always been a thing that I've just loved doing.
I think that's been the biggest, sorry to cut you, I think that's been the biggest kind of like your unique selling point is the fact that you just want to put people on. Yeah,
like I'm a person who loves music, and I think being an artist myself, I know how hard it is to get your music heard. So I've always been someone who just wants to see other people win, and other people's music like reach new ears, like if I can.
That's good.
Yeah.
What so how did the presenting on radio start? I'm trying so hard not to say a DJ because you're like, I'm not a DJ, I'm not a DJ.
Everyone loves to say DJ, but it's so funny because people ask me like, oh, can you DJ for this? And I'm just like, have you ever actually seen me DJ? Like, no one has ever seen me DJ. Yeah. So I don't understand, but no, it's just it's the old school term, innit?
Right, okay.
Radio DJ. But no, I did broadcast journalism at Salford Uni.
Okay.
And I did student radio first at Salford Uni, and then kind of just did what I could to like contact anyone I could to kind of interview for that. So I had like people from like Made in Chelsea to, you know what, one of them programs that program where people go to Ibiza and just
Ibiza,
like, you know, the reality yeah. That
yeah.
I had anyone and everyone on there just to kind of build up my interviews, and like so I could make like a show reel to kind of send to stations or whatever, because at that point I thought, okay, uni's all about news and I don't want to do news, and how can I like be a presenter, because I don't know how to be an artist, I don't know how to make music, like I don't know how to put my songs and melodies and actually record it and make an actual MP3. I don't know how to do that. I was too scared, to be fair, so I just thought the best thing that I can do is become a presenter. Then I can stay being involved in music. But obviously,
so was that your actual plan?
Yeah, that was my plan.
No way.
In like, that's why I started student radio, because I just thought, there's no way, I don't like this course. It's just nothing to do with radio or music, or it's just nothing to do. So I just thought the next bet is just to be a presenter, but obviously it's not that easy. Like, it's not that easy at all. But then I made the show reel through student radio, and then I sent it to Unity Radio. And they was looking for presenters at the time. And basically I joined them with a girl called Sheba Param, and Laura Bailey, who I still am like best friends with now. And we started Unity, and then I've been on Unity ever since then, up to like nearly 2 years ago now. Yeah. And I did like daytime, drive, I think I did breakfast, but yeah.
What was your experience like?
Yeah, I mean, through that, it was around then where I kind of discovered and really like delved into the Manchester music scene as a whole, and started to meet so many people. My first ever time in the studio was with Lytech and 24K when they used to produce together in Salford, which is mad to even think how far they've come. Yeah. It's so inspiring. My first ever time in the studio was with them too, and like they were the ones who I first met, but also gave me a glimpse of the Manchester music scene. Yeah. And basically then I started to realise maybe I actually can do music as well. Lytech was the person who inspired me to produce, because he told me like you can just learn anything on YouTube. So then I just got Logic and started trying to produce and make my own music to put it out. But yeah, Unity really helped me, because it obviously is where I kind of grew as a presenter, but also grew as someone in the music industry in Manchester, and someone who knew about the music scene in Manchester. And it enabled me to meet so many people that I still know now. So I'm very thankful to Unity Radio for that.
No, wicked. And obviously we know what came after. As you said, you left Unity 2 years ago. I'm gonna blend it as a question into like your big break, BBC Radio 1. Yeah. Yeah, would you say that's your big break?
Yeah. It's weird because obviously it's such a mad blessing to be able to present every week on that station. But it's mad because it's come so quickly. Sometimes I don't think it's even hit me now.
Really?
Like because obviously I'm an artist as well. Yeah. So I feel like whereas my presenting side is basically, that's a lot of people, including mine, dream career. Yeah. But on the artist side, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So I think that's also why it's not hit me that much yet. Yeah. But also because I don't really see it as a job. I'm just passionate about radio and music. So to me, it doesn't even, it's mad obviously, but it's not like, wow. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely massive though. How did that come about?
Yeah. So I was still at Unity, and then I basically heard about the Christmas presenters competition. Okay. So every year BBC look for new presenters to basically cover the Christmas shows, to give the main presenters some time off. I think that's why, obviously. But so I applied for that, submitted my show reel. I think that's all I had to really do, like just you upload your show reel. But I submitted the wrong one. I submitted the one from student radio, not Unity Radio. So I did that, and then basically ended up getting it, and I covered DJ Target on Radio 1 and 1 Extra on Boxing Day. Sick. So that's how I kind of got my foot in the door.
Was you nervous?
Yeah, I was well nervous, because I did that show as well, not just like any old show. Like because I had the opportunity, I thought I'm going to make it about talent outside of London. Okay. So I just basically put a focus on not just London talent, but artists in and around the UK who don't really normally have that light shone on them. So I was very nervous, because I was not only repping Manny, but I was also trying to rep other areas as well.
Did they give you that license to do that? Did they just say, oh?
Well, I can't remember. I think I was just like, this is what I want to do about it, because I think they asked me, and I thought and I remember saying to them like, this is what I want to do. And it was around the time of the lockdowns was happening and stuff was starting to happen. So I actually did that demo show from home. I didn't actually go in to record it.
Okay.
I had to send it over, which was mad because the first time I actually went in the BBC was after that, when they asked me to go back in to cover a show on Radio 1 and sit in for Greg James, who's the breakfast host at the moment, and that was in London, and so that was mad. That was after that Boxing Day show, and then after then I did a couple cover shows, but I didn't really I was still working in the call centre, and so I didn't really hear anything back. Well, I think they was a bit confused because they didn't know, because I'm an artist as well.
Yeah.
I think there was just do you want to present? Do you want to do what
If it was
do you
your
want to
passion.
do?
Yeah.
Which is normal because if you go into a job, they want to know that you're there to do that
100%.
job. Or
They want to know that you want to be there as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I said basically I want there to be a space on Radio 1 for R&B because there wasn't at the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was only Trevor Nelson really that the last.
Do you remember Choice FM?
Yeah, I do remember Choice.
Remember Jenny Francis?
Yeah, Jenny
Yeah.
Francis. She's a serious key player in this industry. But
Big pillar.
yeah, for real. For real, 100%. But yeah, it was only Trevor, the last person to do R&B soul music on Radio 1. And then the only other space is on BBC really, is One Extra for that sort of music. So I did a demo show, but I didn't hear anything back till the week they asked me to be the host of it, which was summertime,
Wow.
6 months
So they
later.
didn't have a show, and then you put the
I
show to, and
proposed,
then they took it on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was mad because I'd gone from that high of doing
That's
that.
sick, man.
Well, yeah, it's
done.
good.
That's
yeah.
proper.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy, because obviously you are presenting,
Nice,
but it is nice, isn't it? You are presenting, but then you are still doing your music on the side. I wanted to ask you, Vic, I want to say this right, Vic Meets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that like your? Is that like your?
That's the Sealey show.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I had to slide that in.
No, that's cool. That's cool. We'll take it. But I feel like that's your blend of you're mixing your passion and work at the same time.
Yeah, I started that because I meet so many cool people. So why not document whoever I meet on socials?
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did it when I did it because the name was not taken on social media. So I've literally just got Vic Meets.
Yeah, so you've got it on
No
there.
underscores, no 1, 2, 3s. But I started that because I do the R&B soul show now on Radio 1. But prior to that, I am just a music lover, like I said. So I did a whole documentary on grime music, the grime scene in Manny, and spoke to the MCs, people involved, youth clubs. I did stuff like that I never even put out. But I started in Radio 1 doing the R&B soul show. I felt obviously I'm very thankful, but I'm limited. I can't play every genre I want to play. So that's why I started Vic Meets, so that I can still show people about the other genres that I do love. But also because I don't want to be chained to the BBC. I love the BBC, but I also want people to have something else to look at me for.
Yeah.
Just in the same way that, people have podcasts and stuff, but still might have a radio show. I wanted there to be a platform of my own as well that I can grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I started that really.
No, amazing. Well done. We're gonna put all the links below as well. If it meets your show, etc., where people can find you. But yeah, man.
Yes, guys, we're back again with another segment of Where's Sealey. So today, obviously, I'm with my guy Noir again, Associate Noir. We're in the Lavites Tech tracksuit. So you've got the hoodie, you've got the bottoms. Again, snug fit. It's got that tech streetwear feel to it. Light material. Hugs your figure, if that's what you're going for, if that's the fit. Obviously, that's the fit I like. So, yeah, man. We're just here with it. Obviously, again, shout out to Associate Noir, always looking after me. Watch out for some new pieces coming this summer as well, yeah?
As you can see, another location, another spot. Pasha, we've been here before. Manchester, Wilmslow Road, they look after us so well here. You're gonna see like fruit and their usual platter for us.
I'm excited actually. I've not been here before, so I'm just like, ooh. I've been on Wilmslow Road, everyone has, but
new experience. So Vic, obviously, I wanted to just move into like a bit more personal topics for yourself, like so you like your influences. That could be like in life, in music.
Oh wow, okay.
Who really like gets your, I was gonna say juices flowing, and that sounds a bit crude, but who really gets like, who gets you excited to like get out of bed and really go to work?
Kind of who I'm inspired by then, really. I don't know, I think my inspiration has changed growing up, but I think my mum has always inspired me. My parents, my mum and my dad have always inspired me and been a very strong influence in my life. They've both been always so hardworking and just wanting the best for us, like any parent would. So yeah, I think my mum has been, and my dad have both been strong like figures in my life. But then there's other people who really inspire me, like my friends. I'm grateful to be surrounded by people who are just really supportive of me, but also really passionate about the fields that they're in. So I think that really inspires and drives me to also, you know, if you're around successful or people wanting to be successful, then you're going to also be motivated as well. And then I'd say people who also like work in the industry, such as a guy called R&B Tommy. Well, he's called Tommy.
Yeah.
Just R&B Tommy. R&B Tommy. Tommy and his wife Lisa, who run R&B Radar, and kind of started that platform, and it's really kind of took over. And their hard work with that platform has been so inspiring to me, just to kind of start Vic Meets. I saw what they was doing with R&B Radar, and it kind of really inspired me, like, to try and do something to help music as well.
So you're kind of arts and you start thinking.
Yeah,
like,
you start thinking, but there's other people as well, like in the creative field, that have inspired me, like Clara Amfo being one of the first women of colour on, you know, BBC Radio 1, and others. There's so many people that have inspired me, but they're the people that's coming to my head now.
Yeah,
really. Yeah.
I understand that. And like moving into like, I know you mentioned a few people there that are doing well in business. I've noticed your like profile was, I mean, I think you said in the last like 3 years or so you've been able to like amass 10,000 followers on Instagram. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, how is that working for you in terms of business?
To be fair, like recently I came out of being managed a management contract.
Yeah.
And like I don't know anything. I'm kind of in the deep end now because I don't really know anything about the business side of socials and trying to navigate that. So for me, that 10,000 followers on Instagram is not really like, it's just a big question mark because I don't actually know how to approach brands or approach people to kind of, you know, work with. And I think that's what my management, the contacts that they had at the time. Now I'm just representing myself, so I'm just a bit like in the deep end, in the unknown. So it's a bit scary. But then that's what I was doing beforehand. I wasn't where I am at now, so I didn't have to know how to, you know, contact brands and contact so-and-so, but now I need to, and I really don't know. So obviously it's great that I've got that 10k followers on Instagram, and I only want to grow that. I'm just still trying to navigate the business side of things. It's just very confusing.
So any agents, managements?
Well,
agencies?
You're right. I don't want someone who's just going to up and leave at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I want someone who's right for me, who knows what they're doing, and who wants to grow with me, also has the contacts and can add value, because I'm good at getting things done myself. So I need someone, or, you know, someone to just add value.
You.
Yeah,
add
work
value,
with me, really.
Come get your girl. And like in terms of like brands and ads, obviously we've noticed you've like working with like Samsung.
Different people.
Yeah. How have you found that experience?
Yeah, I mean the Samsung thing, they asked me to be part of that campaign with like some other influencers, such as like Vic Meets, who presents Kick Game, some other people, some really amazing people, which was crazy to be part of like such a mad billboard. But I've worked with a few other brands in the past, like, but there's never been any like. I think that's probably the biggest wow moment.
Yeah.
But like
definitely.
I said, I'm still kind of navigating it because I don't really know how to reach out to brands now as a like person looking after representing myself. Yeah, I don't know.
So is that like something you want to like develop yourself and get into?
Of course, but it's just hard because you need to know the right contacts, and it's hard to find those contacts.
Well, hopefully once this goes out, you know, your phone will start ringing.
Well,
did they reach out yourself? Did they reach out themselves?
They reached out to me. Yeah, they reached out to me initially. So yeah.
What's the feeling like when you initially get that call? Is it like, I don't believe this, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with a lot of people are thinking like, I didn't get paid for that Samsung thing.
Okay.
It's just like, it was just a great opportunity. Like I had to pay for my own travel to London for that.
Okay.
So like, for me, that's just I'm a very big film, like movie, TV geek.
Yeah.
So I've seen that billboard on so many people's, so many films. So many
Piccadilly
people
Circus,
so for me I was like, oh my god, yes, I am going. I can't afford to right now, but I'm going down and I'm being on that. So like obviously when I got asked, I was so gassed because that's something I've always wanted to do. It's a bucket list moment, but at the same time there's the feeling of, oh, can I even do this? Like, so mixed feelings. Mixed feelings.
I mean, it would have been nice for you at least covered your travel, I guess.
Yeah, but this is what happens in the creative field. Like, unless you've got people, you're very big, or you know you've got that that backing by management, or like you just got that backing by a connection or something, then a lot of the time people get asked to do things for free as a creative.
Right.
And I believe that no one should be asked to do things for free, unless it's obviously a mad thing that really you can see is worth it.
Yeah, adding value again.
Yeah, unless it adds that value, because there's loads of things I've done that I didn't get paid for. Like my song was used on Maya Jama's Midge Masks campaign. I didn't get paid for that, but that for me was like, oh my god, yes. So this is a lot of the time this happens. I've noticed with myself, like people will be like, oh my god, this is sick. People think you're getting paid loads, but really and truly you're still trying to make things work. And that must happen with a lot of other creatives as well, which is why I take everything with a pinch of salt of what I'm seeing. Because I used to have a lot of like imposter syndrome. Everyone still, like, I still do, but when I started to experience these things myself, I started to think, oh, you know what, it's just, I just take it with a pinch of salt. Because that person might have been doing that for free as well. So, yeah.
And how do you feel like moving into that imposter syndrome? Like, just gonna segue right into that, because as you know, online isn't what it seems all the time. You know, how have you found like today's state of society, culture? How are you able to navigate yourself through the way things are today? And what's your opinion on how things are today as well?
I think I know who I am as a person, and I know what I can offer in my field of work and like my expertise in my area as a creative. So I know that I have a sense of like self-worth and self-belief in that field where I try not to let it get to me now. But obviously I think I'll always have that imposter syndrome unless I'm like a millionaire or something. Like, it's very hard to not compare yourself to others, especially like I was saying to you before, like social media. It's just, I have to always be on it all the time, and it's just like, so you're gonna constantly see other people, you're gonna constantly see people posting content all the time. You're gonna start thinking, I need to do this or I need to do that, and so it's just trying to like keep a balance of not comparing yourself. It is hard. Like, I just try not to like get too sucked into socials. but that's like the forefront of everything nowadays.
Yeah.
And there's
yeah,
always
yeah.
something else. Like when I started to think I've mastered Instagram, now there's TikTok, and there's just like there's
more.
always something.
Yeah.
But it's just like figuring things out, innit? You're always going to be figuring things out in life, I think.
And like in terms of like the state of the culture, like the young generation coming up, because obviously with you being a presenter, especially presenting new artists to the audience, how you find it? Do you find there's a big divide in culture? Do you find there's a big mindset shift, or not really? Do you think things have just been since you were growing up to now?
With music, you mean?
Just in general, like life.
Yeah, I mean,
just like your
I'm
insight
trying
on
to
how
interpret that
things.
question.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if I'm answering this how you want me to answer, but I feel like genre has changed a lot, and there's always going to be something new in the culture, and there's always going to be something new that takes over. So where we saw like the rise of drill, the rise of grime, let's say, then the rise of drill, then the rise of like Afro swing, or like your J Hus kind of Lotto Boys era.
Yeah.
Then the rise of this, what's this sound that's coming in now? This Jersey club beats.
Okay.
Like there's always something that's going to be take over the current genre that's popping. But I feel like that's why I love R&B so much, because it's such a timeless genre.
Yeah.
That is always going to be, always has been there, always will be there.
Yeah.
It's not one of them fast-paced genres. So I think the culture does shift a lot in terms of music and the scene, but I think with the R&B and soul scene, the culture is very, very similar, or has minute changes.
Yeah.
It's definitely thriving more now, more than ever, really.
And do you think music has a big influence on society?
100%. Everyone listens to music. Like if you don't listen to, like you can't tell me that you don't listen to music. You're just gonna be lying straight in my face, because everyone listens to music. So that means you're gonna be impacted on music. It's just that everyone doesn't shout about it, or not. You can listen to music but not talk about it. Music is a personal thing, so that will impact on that person, and then that will impact on other people, and therefore impact the culture. So music definitely will always have that, as long as music is there,
Yeah. No, it's a good answer. And again, it just leads me into like my next question in terms of like, I don't know if you in the future see yourself having children, getting married, etc. If that were the case, how would you coach your children, and how would you monitor what they're taking in terms of like...
I was saying this the other day to someone who's got kids. I was saying like, I was saying this to someone like the other day who's got kids. I was just saying like, I don't know how, who's not got kids. I was saying this the other day anyway, I don't know how kids are growing up now, because it's actually mad. Like when I was younger, it was just like your Nintendo DS, your Wii, your flip phone, like I don't know how I'd even monitor it. Like you just have to be, and then you don't want to be too strict. I don't know. It's scary how much is taking over. Like we were just talking about AI.
Yeah.
There's just so much on the internet and so much technology out there. There's so much on the streets even. There's so much everywhere that just you can impact a child. I just think upbringing is everything, and when I have kids, I think it'll just be a nurturing thing. You just have to be a parent but a friend at the same time, and watch out for them. And then again, I think it just comes back to faith. If I'm raising a child, faith needs to be heavily in their life, basically.
No, it's interesting, and that's why I kind of let you just speak, because with like music, obviously culture, society, influencing children and so on. It's got to do with like obviously raising children, and then the influence that comes with that. Like I don't want to go on like with old heads, like for the viewers as well. Yeah, I need you to understand, like, if you don't mind me saying, like Vic is under the age of 25. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah.
Well, I don't know when this is coming out, but
Okay, cool.
25 soon.
As it stands, under the age of 25. So I don't want it to make out like we're out here bashing the young. It's not that at all.
Yeah.
I asked the question because it's a real thing, and I don't know how it would be for me if I was 16, 17, 18, looking at, I don't know, like a mid-20, late 20, early 30s or whatever person, so to speak, talking about that, thinking, oh, why are they on, like, why? But it's hard, do you know what I mean? It's hard to kind of speak about it without thinking that.
No, it's just my opinion though, at the same time. Like, it's
But I ask this question a lot, you see, and people have the same answer.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, what you said about upbringing is key. So, yeah, no, that was kind of just what I wanted to get across anyway. So, obviously we've covered a lot, you know, your upbringing, school, we went to see your school earlier today, what you've achieved in your career so far.
Yeah.
What are you looking to achieve in your career so far in terms of like goals, etc.?
I just want to be able to be more than comfortable. I want to be like, I have like financial stability that I'm able to, you know, travel more and invest more into not just myself. But I want my show to grow and to be bigger than it is now, for more people to know and hear and listen to it. And I want my presence as a presenter and a broadcaster to be more heard. So I don't think there's enough women, and also just people from up north on like, you know, big presenting jobs or on red carpets interviewing, or even on TV. There's no one hardly. So it's like I'd love to be that person to kind of start that off.
Why do you think that is?
Because I don't know, it's just the same people that get, you know, put in those positions. Or it's a London thing. If you're in London, happy days. We don't want to have to pay for your travel.
Oh, thank you.
This is nice. What are these drinks?
That's veggie mojito, salad mojito.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's raspberry mojito.
Ooh. I do love a raspberry mojito.
You can grab that one. I always get for this one anyway. Thank
What's
you.
that? The same one?
No, that's strawberries.
Strawberries.
Ooh, I might
raspberry,
have to swap for strawberry, you know.
Say's got the
Strawberries.
raspberry.
Raspberry.
Thank you so much.
Make your night.
We'll leave that there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just gonna do this thing now.
What's this?
Yeah, do it. Yeah. Do you wanna grab this part? Will it pick it up?
Oh, let me get my phone. I don't want to film this when you do this, because this is mad. I love dry ice, you know. I just find it so mad. Like, I just find it so mad.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, do I know?
Yeah. This is part of it.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow.
Grow Vic Meets.
Yeah, grow Vic Meets. I want to grow my music. I want people. I'm only just getting started in music, so. Well, I've obviously been doing music for ages, but I'm only going to be getting started with the music that kind of resonates with me most and brings me the most joy. Like, I've finally been able to find the producers that I want to work with and make music with that I really, really love. So that's why the music side of things is only just kind of beginning, really.
I do get that vibe from you as well, where like you're not one to follow the crowd.
What do you mean?
Like, even with your music and your approach on things, it's not like the typical, okay, so for instance, yeah, if you see like the women in the game now, in the music game at the forefront,
Yeah.
a lot of the things they speak about is like the same, like this man, that man, this bag, that bag,
Yeah.
these shoes, that shoe. Like, your content doesn't seem to be like that at all.
Interesting. Yeah.
You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think
I
it
just
is.
think I think that's more of a rap thing.
Okay.
I think more R&B females speak about like relationships and stuff. But to be fair, I am different because I just don't really speak about my lyrics don't normally have one specific thing in.
That's what I mean, and that's what
I get what
meant.
you mean.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like that will set you apart anyway as an individual. Is that on purpose or?
That's just I'm just me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like all I can do is me. I've always been good. I've always been like, as an artist, I've always been as an artist very versatile. Because if you give me a beat, I can just jump on that. Like I'll always be able to make it work. I think I've just been like that in life as a person as well, though. So it's just me really. At the end of the day.
What's like your writing process, like your creative, like in the
It
studio?
depends. Like if I'm in the studio, like more often than not, I'll freestyle. My problem is being so versatile. God. My problem is being so versatile. I start so many things and don't finish them because I freestyle a lot as well. So I'm very forgetful. But if I really like a beat, I'll sit down and write. But I do love freestyling. Yeah, I do sit down and write sometimes, but I just love creating things in the moment. I think sometimes you get the best work when you create in the moment rather than overthinking it. Yeah, my studio process changes all the time. Like I've been going down to London a lot to work with producers. Finally found 2 producers I really want to work with. I just really get me and my sound. It's a shame they're in London because obviously I'm not, which makes it so hard. Why it's taking so longer to get it out is that because it's taking time for me to go down and make the stuff.
How long was that process for you, like finding the producers? Like,
I mean, all of last year, the first year I started BBC Radio 1, I was with obviously Insanity Management, and my manager at the time was getting me in different studio sessions, but also I found producers that I wanted to get in with as well. So all like last year, the year before that a little bit as well, I was just doing different sessions, trying to figure out who I worked best with. And obviously every session was great, but there was only a few producers that I kind of clicked with. So yeah, it's hard to find someone to really work with.
it's a long process, isn't it?
It's a long process. Like music, people just hear it, like they don't know how much goes into making that song. Especially like producers go through so much to make one beat. Like it's insane that it really just takes a lot to make one piece of music. Like if you don't know the music industry, then you won't know how much goes into that song. Not even just making it, but all the people involved at marketing it, like everything behind it. There's so much involved. Distribution, publishing, like there's so much involved, which is why it's very overwhelming when you finally get into it. Because as an artist, if you're going into music for the right reasons, you're passionate about it. And then as soon as things can start going well is when really it starts to, you can start to get in your head, because you're now realising all these other things that are involved and not focusing on the joy of just making it, which is where I've been trying not to distract myself. But yeah, a lot goes into music.
Do you feel like once you've made one single and like you found your sound, you found your tone, is it then about chasing what you've already done or finding the next new?
I don't know, because like I've got so many songs that are not finished, but then I've got songs that are finished and I just haven't put them out because of X, Y, Z. Or I think it's hard because as an artist, when your creative flow is at a high, you need to be getting in the studio. But if your creative flow is not there, if your mind is not there, if your mental position is not right, then you don't want to write.
That's crazy.
Like you have to force yourself to write, but you might not be in that zone. So it's hard because that can make things take longer. But I've just been trying to make a lot. But it's just hard because obviously as an artist you're pouring a lot into it. I think for songwriters it's hard as well. I'm not in that field particularly, but I know a few songwriters who will go into sessions and pour their heart out, and it's hard because they're doing that for other people. Yeah.
So that mental block's a real thing.
Mental block is a real, well, to be fair, like, because I freestyle a lot, I don't have a lot of mental block, but it's more like I'm just not in the mood.
I think, first of all, I want to thank you, obviously, coming on before we get into our last segment, for the insight. We was just talking off camera just then, like, I've not really, I see you do interviews, and I know obviously living in the city of Manchester, like, you're well known for what you do.
Don't know about that, but.
Does anyone actually know Victoria? Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was the purpose of today. So I want to thank you for trusting me with your story
No
and your
worries.
insight. And I want to jump into some hot questions.
Hot questions?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Got some
Before
fire
you say that, what
questions.
is this purple thing?
Is it breadfruit?
What's the
purple
purple
one.
thing?
Dragon fruit, that's it, yeah.
What does it taste like?
Like a cross between a pear and a kiwi. Like.
Yeah. It's a soft texture.
Mmm.
It's fresh, isn't it?
Yeah, I was not expecting that. Thought it was going to be like gooey.
What's it taste like?
It hasn't really, it's an acquired taste, isn't it, really, I think. I think it's really
It's
got a
not as
taste
strong
to it.
as some of these.
Mm-mm.
As most fruits, I should say. Some of these, like other ones.
It's like very water-based.
Mm.
Like
Watermelon.
It's like between.
no, like soft. It's soft
It's
like
like
a kiwi.
cross between, yeah, kiwi and like,
But it's-
A kiwi and a pear.
yeah. I'm cooled down now, ready for the hot questions.
You ready for hot questions, yeah? All right, cool. So, first question: how do you learn? Is it visually or theoretically?
Visually,
Visual
Yeah,
learner. Come
very
on,
visual
my
learner.
G, let's go.
yeah.
Your favorite city?
Favorite city? I was about to say Manchester. Yeah, Manchester. Let's go. That's the first that came to my head. Yeah.
Your childhood idol.
Childhood idol.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. Lord, I had so many people I looked up to. I'd say Amy Winehouse, if I'm being honest.
Proper. Best advice ever given.
Wow.
Come on, I told you about these questions. G.
Best advice
questions,
ever
bruh.
given. I have to think carefully about that one.
Take your time.
That's really hard, you know, because I just think when my parents always used to say, like, just don't stress, everything will be fine, and that's always just stuck with
Good
me.
advice.
So
People be stressing for free.
I'm telling you,
Trust
literally.
me. Don't even pay for stress. Take it. It's free and people do it. Deep it. Who would you love to collaborate with in the future?
As an artist or
Both.
so
it could be on
that's
Vic
a hard
Meets.
question.
Could be in the studio. Could be on TV.
Ooh. I'm gonna just put this out there because I just don't know if this would ever happen. I'd love to interview Beyonce, number
Wow.
one.
I'd freeze.
Yeah, that would be mad. Because I've interviewed a lot of like mad people.
Yeah.
So to me, that's like.
You're not phased no more.
It never fazed me anyway because I just see it's just like I was saying before, I'm just passionate about it, so I see them as people.
Beyonce though.
Like, yeah, obviously Beyonce, I'd be shook, but I think I'd be shook, yeah. But in the moment, I'd be absolutely fine because it's just a conversation.
No, 100%.
Like, I'd be shook that I'm doing that,
Yeah.
but actually doing it, I wouldn't be shook.
Yeah. I know what
It's
you
the
mean.
fact that I'm doing it. But yeah, and an artist to collaborate with, there's so many, like, oh my God. I'm gonna say the first one that comes to my head.
Of course.
That I really wanna I'm trying to manifest it. I really wanna work with basically Nux.
Knox from
Yeah,
London.
yeah. Do you know what? Because I was thinking to say like the biggest people, like that are on my list, but Nux is up there.
Why Knox?
I just rate him so, like, I rate his pen, his lyricism, his whole branding around No Days Off. Like, I rate his work ethic, and I just rate the music. And I think my voice and my tone would sit so well with his music. Like,
Alright.
I'm a big fan. Like,
This is
to
what
be
I'm
fair.
gonna
I
do.
respect his come up as well.
I know some people who know some people, so I'm gonna make sure.
The thing is though, I need to grow myself, I know, to even work with the likes of him, or
Yeah, but you never
work
know
with the
though.
likes of Loyal Kana is another rapper that I'd
Yeah.
love to work with. I'm a huge Loyal Kana fan. Just like I'm a huge Nooks fan. Like, if I got to be on a track with both of them, this is the moments that will make me shook. The Beyonce, yeah, it'll make me shook, but those moments, because music will always be my first love, innit? So like those moments will be. I don't even know how I act. Don't know how I act.
We're gonna try and get this
Yeah.
interview to Nux. I'm gonna make it my mission.
Well, an interview is another question, but I wouldn't even be nervous. But I want to work with him. Like, I want to make a song with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and hit some people who know some people and see what we can do. What skill would you love to master?
I want to be able to play an instrument and speak a language because I can't do any.
Really?
No. It's sad. It's very sad.
Vic, we've been on here today. I've been saying that you're a musician.
I know I can't. Well, I can play the keys like by ear, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I can make a song. Like, I've performed playing keys before and sang, because I can just do it by ear and make something by ear.
Well, that's something.
But I can't actually. I don't know how to play an instrument. It's just so hard. Just like learning a language, it's very hard to do when you're an adult.
That's my
You
answer
have
to
to
that
have
one. I'd
time.
love to learn a language.
Yeah, I can't
I'd
speak.
love
I
to
can
learn
only
language.
speak English.
What superpower would you have and why?
Oh, I love this question. As a kid, I've always said the same answer, and everyone hates it.
What is it?
I'd have the power to do anything, because then that means I can have any power. So
Yeah.
not cheating, because you just said it's a superpower.
You've definitely
The
thought
power
about
to
that.
do anything.
You've
'Cause
definitely
I used to
thought
love
about that.
Incredibles is one of my favourite films. So and I'm a big film person. So Avengers, Marvel, I love it.
Makes sense. What's your favourite film?
I hate that question. I don't have an answer for
First
it.
film that comes to your head.
Well, I've just said Incredibles though, so that's
You
in
going
my
with that,
head.
yeah?
No, it's not my favourite, but I'm gonna just, because I don't want to go with the hardcore films and that. I'm just gonna go with a chick flick that I absolutely love, and it's called He's Just Not That Into You.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I love that film.
I know it. When are you most at your happiest?
Probably when I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm making music. No, not even making music, because I could be stressed. If I'm in the studio, that's when I'm at my
I love
happiest.
studio vibes.
Or if I'm around family and
I
friends.
could chill in the studio, like all day.
Like, I'd be the happiest if I was in the studio all day, every day.
Yeah.
I'm happy, man,
Yeah,
because I can just make music, keep going.
What is your proudest moment?
That is a hard question. Lord. Do you know, my first instant reaction was, oh, I wonder what your proudest moment would be.
Ah, we'll get to
in
that.
my head, but I don't know. I would say probably the first thing that comes to my head is obviously doing the show on Radio 1.
Yeah.
The show that I'm doing now. I'd say that's got to be my proudest moment. I think that's the biggest thing that's coming to my head. But I was trying to think of something other than that. But it's
That's
hard.
big.
Yeah.
That's a real proud moment. I think everyone
Yeah.
connected to you was proud of that.
Pardon
Definitely.
me? Yeah.
We spoke about your biggest inspiration already. Did you ever think you'd make it this far? So far, obviously.
Yes. Just because I knew, like, the thing is, this is what I was thinking about the other day. Like, with radio, I knew where I wanted to be from the point of even choosing journalism, broadcast journalism at uni. Like, I thought, let me go down this radio path because that's how I can stay involved in the music. So even from uni, I knew where I wanted to be, and when I know what I want to do, I'll get it done. Like, so I knew I was going to end up here somehow, and you know, I kind of worked so hard to build those connections, be involved in the music scene in Manchester, and build my portfolio, go out and do things. Like, so many people just expect things to happen and expect things to come to them, but really you have to be doing the most. Like, And I knew that from an early point. I used to be so shy, like, and then I just changed into the person that gets everyone's Instagram. It's all about connections, innit? So
100%.
I knew I wanted to be there, but with music, like, I don't know how to navigate it, which is why.
Not yet.
Not yet, no. But I think it's always going to be a space that it's very hard to. You don't know. It's hard to know how to navigate that. Whereas radio is a straight kind of. You know how. Well, it's what I was thinking anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. No, that was a good answer though.
Yeah.
Yes,
so the answer is yes. Sorry.
No, you're all right.
I'm a chatty person.
No, listen, chat away. Who's a fan of yours that you didn't expect to be?
A fan of mine?
Yeah. That you was like, whoa, you know who I am?
Do you know what? The one that's come into my head, I can't even think of that, because in those moments I'll just get shy and just be like, oh my God. So it kind of just doesn't stay in my brain. But the one that's sticking in my head is I interviewed this singer called Fana Hughes. Amazing artist. I interviewed her in London for my show on Radio 1. And I said something about her voice, or I said something and she was like, I said something about my voice, like, passing comment. She was like, oh yeah, you sing. And I was like, oh, I do music. Oh, no way. She was like, yeah, I follow you on Instagram. I was like, oh, no way. I was like, what? Yeah, this is crazy. I think that's what means the most to me, because I've got so many times like, oh, can you really do both? Can you really be a presenter and an artist? So for an artist to actually come to me that I respect and acknowledge the fact that I actually, like, my music side of things is just mad, and it always is, and I really appreciate that when that happens.
Fitting moment, innit?
Yeah, 100%.
Loyalty or respect, which one would you choose?
Wow, you're coming with the question.
Hey, this is not a gimmick.
I'd have to say, because loyalty, if you're loyal to someone, it's very similar things though, isn't it?
I don't think there's any wrong or right answer to this one.
I think they're very similar, because if you're loyal, then your loyalty is that respect. Because you can't really be respectful and be, I'd say loyalty.
Loyalty.
No, I think respect.
Respect, yeah?
Yeah, Aretha Franklin said it best.
I hear that. What does success mean to you?
I think success means to be free of fear.
Questions for me.
Ooh.
Just getting in a Vic bag now. Just getting a Vic Meets bag now.
What do you want to accomplish? What is something you want to do by the end of this year, like achievement-wise?
End of this year?
Yeah, just a goal that you want to accomplish by end of this year.
Get season 3 out.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
That's
should
a
be
big
talking
goal.
to you.
It's alright, that's a big goal.
Okay.
But ultimately, I want a late show. And I want to win awards for this show. I'm gonna elevate the brand to the point where it's a late show. If it's in this country, if it's in America, then so be it.
I've got another question. So,
Go on.
what UK artist would you love to get on?
UK artists?
Yeah, not from Manchester. Girl and male and female. I wanted to know that.
I've got to be true to my answer here, innit? Do you know my male artist, yeah? It's got to be my favourite artist, obviously, innit?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay, so my UK female artist would be Miss Banks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a nice match, that.
So Miss Banks.
Okay, Miss
Oh.
Banks. Hello, your boy.
Hello, your boy. And my male UK artist would be Mo Stack.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because
I
I
was
love
not
his,
expecting that.
I love his music.
Very similar, like, obviously the different sounds, but very
Yeah.
similar sounds at the same time.
Yeah,
They both make music, I'd say, similar target audience listens to.
yeah.
Interesting.
Just Mo Stack because his vibe is exact. Like if I went out and heard Mo Stack all night, it's a good night for me.
okay.
I know that's not going to happen unless I go to a show, but just that vibe, that tone, the energy that music is, yeah. Because he's not afraid to dance. He's not afraid to. Obviously, he's outside. He's done his thing or whatever. But like most men who have like come from that background, they're just stiff. Whereas I feel like Mo
Makes sense.
enjoys himself. Like you know, in the studio, he's flowing, he's dancing, he's having fun. It's a party, innit? For me,
Interesting.
that's the vibe I get off him, innit? So that's why I'd want to speak to him and see where that comes from. Because I feel like we've had similar influences, just the way his music sound, his music choice, and the way he vibes. I feel like we've had the same influences, so that'll be an interesting conversation.
Interesting. Very interesting. I see
Yeah.
that happening.
So yeah, man, Mo Stack, we're coming, bro. We're coming. But yeah, Vic, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on.
No,
Again,
thank you. It's
I
been
know I said
nice.
it before. Like, thank you for trusting me, us, with your story. And yeah, anything else you want to say to the people?
I always get asked this, or I knew this was coming and I just didn't know what to say. So
We're gonna put your links. And
listen
stuff
to my
in there.
music and listen to the show. If you want to discover new music, listen to mine or listen to the show to find some out.
There you go.
There we go.
Which one we on? Which one we on?
We're on both.
Bye.
Alright,
I'm going to tuck into this.
this has been Sealey. Thank you for watching the Sealey Show, Season 2. And remember, like, share, subscribe. And if you don't watch now, you will watch later, because that's how energy works.
Do you not think... Sorry.
It's alright, you just messed up my whole outro, but it's fine. Go on.
I was going to say, do you not think cameras are mad? Because that's literally one thing there, one object. But there could be millions of people behind that.
Crazy, innit?
Like, that's mad.
It's mad.
Yeah.
We're still rolling, by the way.
I know.
Do you wanna do my outro again?
No.
No, do it. So if you don't watch now, watch later. You'll watch later, because that's how energy works.
If you don't watch now, you will watch later, because that's how energy works.
What's happening, people? It's your boy Sealey. Just want to take a moment to thank Pasha Vibes, Manchester, Wilmslow Road, also known as Curry Mile. I've been here a few times now, more than a few times. I'm treated well every time I come here. It's an amazing vibe, amazing shisha, amazing food, drink, fruit, whatever you want, they've got it. So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you, guys. Again, thank you for having us, and I'll be back here very soon, I hope. And yeah, keep doing your thing. Bless.
Word is the Sealey, what? It's the Sealey Show.